So then from like your little press junkets with movies, is that what made you want to pivot into doing?
Well, no. So then I got a job on as a still photographer on a movie set. Tim Robbins saw a lot of my photojournalism. Randomly, the most famous Vanity Fair issue ever, which was Demi Moore on the cover with her big belly, pregnant.
Right.
Had a 2-page spread of a photograph I had taken of the LA riots.
Oh, amazing.
And so Tim Robbins saw that.
That's
and
a
he
big
took
point.
it to his producer and said, that's the kind of pictures I want for my movie, Bob Roberts, which is a political satire that he directed. And he goes, these are the kind of photographs I want throughout the movie.
Wow.
And the producer happened to know my girlfriend and said, I know that guy.
Oh,
Let's
wow.
call him. So they're in Pittsburgh. They call me and wake me up. And it's Tim Robbins, and I think it's one of my friends just messing with me. Anyway, 2 days later, I'm on a plane. I go to Pittsburgh. I become a still photographer without knowing
That is great.
what I was doing.
Wait, so have you never worked like a random job?
Oh, I worked plenty of random jobs, yeah.
So these weren't paying enough? The AP wasn't paying enough? You were still working?
Oh, no. Once I started doing that was my gig.
Okay.
Pre-AP, I mean, I was a cabinet.
But like since
maker.
college?
I served yogurt.
But that was like when you were a kid?
Yes,
okay.
since college.
That's
I sort of made it.
amazing.
No, I got very lucky with that. I'll tell you, but you know, it's funny. I got extremely lucky, but I also recognized I was still living at home when I got my first Associated Press job.
Sure.
And as soon as I could save up enough money, I moved to downtown LA. I lived within a mile of the AP bureau, and I walked in and I said, here's my new phone number. I can get here first.
Oh, wow.
So that was sort of like my way of making sure I could pay my rent.
Yeah.
And I didn't think I was going to be there a long time, but I loved it because, you know, it sort of gave me a base of how to work.
Right.
It was and I kind of was employed. It's the last time I didn't work for myself.
Yeah. That's incredible.
I'm very lucky.
I assumed you had to take a shit ton of free pictures for a long time before finally somebody saw something. Well, of course, you want to build your portfolio, but you were getting paid to take photos the whole time. That's pretty damn cool.
Yeah, I was lucky. I didn't really have to assist too much. You know, I had another photographer friend who was kind of trying the same thing as me, and so we would assist for each other.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Which kept me out of having to go do the grind. Of being an assistant, which, you know, that can be tough.
Yeah. So after that Tim Robbins thing, I assume people just started reaching out to you more?
No, I mean, I did a couple more films as a still photographer, but what I made sure to do is I would basically lie to all the actors in the movie and say, the studio needs a portrait of you, so we just have to find 30 minutes when you're, you know, because these guys are in their trailer hanging out. We know what they're doing half the time.
Dude, my podcast, it turns out everybody just, once they get to Hollywood, they just lie, and it works.
I mean, you know, I would go up to...
That's genius.
It's just what I had to do. You know?
Yeah.
I went up to John Cusack, who did, I think, one day on Bob Roberts. I said, hey, at some point in the day, we have to, you know... And as it turns out, that wasn't actually a lie, because he played a fake Saturday Night Live kind of host.
Right.
And so they actually did need photos, you know, the going to commercial photo.
Yeah.
So, and I was able to take all these actors aside and make a portrait. And I had befriended the DP, who was sort of critiquing my lighting. Like, I would do the picture, and then I would go to the lab and I'd bring the slides back and show the DP, and he'd say, oh, you know, if you lower the light here a little bit, you can get under their eyes a little bit. And so I was just sort of having my own little like freelance business on the side, making portraits of actors. So by the time I did a couple films, and the still gig is tough. Like, you know, that's not a job I loved, you know, sort of hanging around, being in the way,
right,
trying to get a picture of the actors while they're acting.
Right.
Like, that wasn't my thing, but you know, I walked away from that experience with a portfolio.
Yeah, that's great.